You may have watched my last video where I talk about the superannuation phases and wonder, hey, maybe I should start my self-managed super fund so I can invest in properties. In this video, let's talk about the pros and cons of setting up a self-managed super fund. Is it right for you, or when it's right for you? My name is Irene. Now let's jump right in. The self-managed super fund in Australia is a superannuation fund that is privately run. The difference between a self-managed super fund and other types of super funds is that the members of a self-managed super fund are usually also the trustees, meaning the members of the fund run it for the sole purpose of providing retirement benefits for them and or their dependents. ATO treats the sole purpose test very seriously. So if anyone benefits from the self-managed super fund outside of sole purpose, it will be illegal. So buying a holiday home within your self-managed super fund will breach the law. By June 2022, there are more than 600,000 self-managed super funds with 1.1 million members. They hold 838 billion assets, accounting for 25.4% of the total $3.3 trillion assets invested in superannuation. Having a complete control of your retirement savings probably is the number one reason why self-managed super funds are a popular choice for many Australians. As a trustee and member to run your fund, you can tailor-make your portfolio to suit your specific needs and circumstances. It can also allow you to adjust quickly following market changes or take up investment opportunities. Not only do you have complete control over when and how to invest within a self-managed super fund, but you also can choose to invest in investments that generally are not available in a regular super fund. Things like artwork and other collectibles, physical gold, unlisted shares, cryptocurrencies, and residential and commercial property all can be purchased by your self-managed super fund. You can also borrow to purchase an asset within a self-managed super fund. However, the lender generally will lend less funds and the rules are stricter. The same tax benefits are applied to self-managed super fund as other superannuation funds, which includes 15 to 30% in the accumulation phase and tax-free in the full pension phase. Self-managed super funds allow you to pool your superannuation with up to 5 other people. The bigger balance opens up the opportunity to invest in things that you may not be able to do on your own, for instance, properties. And your self-managed super fund can include family members so that you can manage your super investments as a family, which is good to help intergenerational wealth transfer more tax efficiently. For example, a family business property can remain in a family self-managed super fund even after the death of a key member of the fund. And similarly, non-cash assets can be transferred directly to a beneficiary, and these could be handy for unlisted or not liquid assets. And because self-managed super fund is a trust, therefore it can provide a shell for asset protection from creditors if things happen unfavorable to you. So these are the advantages of having a self-managed super fund. Let's discuss the disadvantages. To run a self-managed super fund requires heavy duties and huge responsibilities. And trustees need to make sure the trust is compliant with the tax laws and take on 100% responsibility for all investment decisions, even if you hire a financial advisor to help you. There are a lot of paperwork and processes that you need to follow. Just to name a few, you need to make sure all documentation is in order. You need to record minutes of trustee meetings, and you need to keep fund financial information up to date, and you need to prepare end-of-year financial statement. You need to make sure an auditor is appointed and audit completed, and so on and so forth. And self-managed super funds must follow the super laws. If your fund breaches one of these laws, you could be faced with a hefty fine. For example, if you rented out your self-managed super fund's investment property to a family member for cheaper rent and were caught out, you'll be fined. The tricky part of self-managed super fund regulation is that it's constantly changing and you must stay up to date with it each year to avoid being fined. Yes, you can hire lawyers to help you prepare the legal documents and provide advice along the way, but it will just add on to the cost of running the fund. So before you set up a self-managed super fund, ask yourself, do I have the capacity or even the time to run the fund? Am I willing to pay experts to help me? And among all the self-managed super funds rules, a residency requirement needs your attention if you might be relocating overseas. The central management and control of the fund must be done in Australia, including strategic decision-making, investment performance reviewing. If all of these are done permanently outside Australia for any period, it will make your fund not complying the law. Therefore, you will be forced to roll over your funds to a regular fund and wind up the self-managed super fund. Now, moving on to the essential part of running a self-managed super fund. As a trustee, you should have a reasonable understanding of investment options and markets because poor investment decisions will directly impact your hard-earned money and the retirement savings of other members. And we all know all investments come with some level of risk. The more investment experience that you have, the better you manage this risk. And ask yourself, do I want to take on the role of a trustee? In terms of return, can I realistically do a better job than a regular super fund? Apart from the knowledge and requirements and investing experience, self-managed super funds also demands a lot of time to manage properly. Of course, that you can hire a financial advisor and self-managed super fund admin managers to help you. Again, it will just add on to the cost. Also, when you change your super from a regular super fund to self-managed super funds, chances are you might lose the insurance, and the self-managed super funds generally needs to pay a higher premium, but the upper side of it is that the higher premium is tax deductible. Now, let's talk about the costs. The cost of running a self-managed super fund can be disadvantageous if your asset balance are low. And you must do the math and see whether a self-managed super fund is worthwhile for you based on your current asset value. Let's take a look at what are the fees of running a self-managed super fund from setting up. So there is a one-off setup fee from $300 to $700. First, you need to pay the ATO supervisory levy, $259, and accounting fee to your accountants, $1,200 to $1,400. And you need to pay the auditing fees to your auditor from $350 to $700. And you need to keep in mind that any investment management fees and also extra fees might occur for additional services. And what you can do is to use the total fee percentage of your current super fund and back calculate the number. It will give you a ballpark of the asset value that you need to have to make it cost effective if you want to switch it to self-managed super fund. So, is self-managed super fund right for me? It might be the right choice for you if you have a large super balance. Most of the self-managed super funds are sitting between $200,000 to $5 million. And self-managed super funds might be the right choice for you if you understand how investments work. If you've never invested in anything before, and self-managed super fund is probably not for you. A self-managed super fund might be the right choice for you if you have enough time to manage the fund or willing to dedicate the time to do so. As we mentioned before, managing a self-managed super fund can be quite time intense, so you need to make sure your lifestyle allows you enough free time to properly manage the fund. Because if you don't have enough time to dedicate to the fund, not only your investment might not deliver the results as they should, but also you may not be able to keep up with the reporting deadlines required by ATO. Like everything in our lives, you shouldn't set up a self-managed super fund just because everyone else is doing it. If you're considering setting up a self-managed super fund, you should always evaluate your situation. Do you have the time, skill, and knowledge to run the fund? And talk to your accountant or financial advisor before you make the move. My name's Irene. I'll see you next time. Bye.